we're on such time restraints with curfew. You have to eat on the run, do whatever, dude.
It's been one of those days. You know when it starts off that you got like nothing to do,
Yeah,
and then all of a sudden you've got no time left to do anything.
exactly.
That was my day today. It's
Sounds about par for the course, dude. Kind of like sums up like 2020 as well.
bro.
It's like it started so nice, dude. I was in California. It was hot. Or like it was warmish in comparison to like what winters are normally like. It's had a good time. Met all these cool people. Literally on the way back, Corona strikes the world.
So you actually brought Corona back.
Well, it was actually a funny story. I was in the airport and I hadn't heard about it yet, and I was standing next to Marlene Kunen, Marloes Kunen. How do you say her name? She was in Strikeforce. She fought Misha Tate.
Geen idee, Paul. I don't know how to say that name. If
She
we had
was-
Roke here, we could.
She was flying back to Holland or whatever, and we were standing in the line at this like shop to buy like water and shit.
Yeah.
Like, and I just checked. This chick is like distraught, dude, and she's like just saying to her colleagues like, and they didn't have enough masks, and now it's hitting California. I'm like, what the fuck is going on around here? But it was like everyone else was just normal, but she started like getting so panicked that the people around her were like panicking, but they didn't know what the problem was.
Yeah.
And only like when I got back to South Africa that I realized, oh shit,
Corona.
something's just destroying
Dude,
the world.
my year started off with that fucking New Year's Eve shooting,
Oh yeah, shit,
which
dude.
is now turned out to be people connected to ISIS.
Oh my
I'm
goodness.
like,
Are they dragging you into like a court case? And
no. Like we completely out of it, bro. Like it's, but the story was nuts, dude. So other shootings started popping up around like KZN with like a very similar sort of MO. And at the time, I remember thinking, I'm like, yes, it sounds a lot like these dudes who did this stuff on New Year's. And then some Indian national dude was kidnapped, and they were in KZN or somewhere, and they were trying to like trace this case. Ended up at this house in Kliprivier, raided the house, found like 7 dudes in there. They found the cars used, or like allegedly used. Obviously, the number plates were different. They found all these weapons and stuff that they say could be linked to the New Year's shooting, and like ISIS flags and shit. And I'm like, okay, well, this is getting fucking
This
a
is
bit
getting
crazy,
crazy,
dude.
dude.
Like,
doing crazy, China.
yeah, so it's pretty nuts, and like it makes
So
a lot of
was
sense.
there someone
'cause-
inside? So was it a hit or was it just a drive-by? Like,
dude? So at the time, I remember saying like this was like an act of urban terrorism, and everyone was like, no, like which terrorists would come here? And like I remember saying to my dad repeatedly, I'm like, these guys, because if you see the way it went, they wanted a line of sight. Like I've said to my dad, I think they were filming this. Like honestly, I think that's what was happening. I think that's why the MOs were always the same. It's because they were like a visual, a line. It's all around alcohol and like VIP and this kind of stuff. And what prevented problems at us was an Uber that actually pulled in front of them and like completely blocked their line of sight. You know, obviously in Melville they weren't so lucky. But like that's what I was thinking. Is like to me, it seemed like these guys absolutely had to have a line of sight, which made me think they were probably filming it. And then some like crime intelligence specialist said at the time, he's like, he thinks that the most sane version of what they can find is that it was like a test to see how far our forensics and stuff can go and how fast it can go and stuff like that. And everyone was like, what the fuck are you talking about, a test? And he was saying, like, it's urban terrorism. They're testing the force, and they're testing to see what they can get away with.
yeah,
So it's fucking nuts, dude. It's super, super fucking crazy.
Bro, that's-
Welcome to the MMA show,
that's
by the way.
gnarly, eh?
Yeah, dude, it's super gnarly. That's how this year started, bro. And it's just been dog shit ever since.
Well, when I was living in Durban, we lived in like a nice area in Durban,
Yeah.
like in Morningside. It's like
Yeah.
a decent area, dude. And we went to like a body corporate meeting, and one of like our neighbors like hands out this piece of paper to everyone, and he says to everyone, it's a court order that he needs to tell us that he is being investigated for like facilitating ISIS activity
Awesome.
in the country, and that he's currently in a court case for I don't know what the correct word is. It's not like grooming, but he was he was like recruiting kids onto like the ISIS.
Great.
And that he said he flatly denies it, but they've got all this evidence against him. And I was like, shit, dude,
Like,
I'm like number 9 and you like number 11.
Like,
dude.
nobody
Like,
panic. It's all false.
it's all
No, I don't want anyone to be alarmed. I'm not recruiting kids for ISIS. If anyone asks, but it's gonna be fine. Fuck, dude.
like, yeah,
But
dude.
do you know the ISIS connection? Because obviously now I'm like fucking knee deep in this cut.
Yeah.
So there's this whole thing going on in
Down the rabbit
Mozambique.
hole, dude.
Because in Mozambique they found oil, bro. And you know when there's oil, it looks
yeah.
like fucking
In the north, though, hey?
Yeah, they look like
Yeah.
looks like Mozambique needs some freedom, boy. Rock up there. So ISIS apparently is taking control there, and some obviously I would guess like rogue sort of troops from here went up there to try and lay their claim, and ISIS were like, "Get the fuck out of here, pal."
But
And then there was a whole thing where they issued a warning to the government. They were like, "Stay out of Mozambique." You know what I mean?
So I thought the north of Mozambique was being held by the locals, like the local tribes.
I don't think so. I think they've lost control, dude, and I think it's being taken over by ISIS. I laughed, dude, but you know, like there's always something funny about all of these things, and like there was this whole back and forth in between the presidency here and America saying that they're going to send troops to Iran, and like the first comment was like, to do what? Turn the lights off. Fucking love it, dude. Love it, bro. Anyways, dude, did you watch the fights this weekend?
I did.
I know you're a hunting man. I know you're a very busy hunting man.
I was kind of quite excited for this card. I got to watch it on Sunday morning, like quite early. Yeah, it was quite a little. It was a nice card, dude.
Dude, these two early prelims, Chris Dawkins and Parker Porter, must be the biggest human being on earth. I would like to see him stand next to Derek Lewis just to see what he looks like. Because this dude's for sure cutting to 265.
Yeah.
And he's a monster. He had the biggest legs I think I've ever seen in my life. But this Chris Dawkins was a cop who just sparked his mate over there.
Yeah.
And Kai Kamaka, Tony Kelly was fight of the night, bro. Kai Kamaka on his debut putting in one of the craziest fights I've ever seen in my life.
I actually didn't get to see any of the prelims. I only saw the main card.
Dude,
but I saw some highlights. I saw that Parker Dawkins, the Porter Dawkins fight. That was a pretty cool ending.
Yeah.
Look, I don't think either of those oaks are anywhere near the top echelon of heavyweight fighters, but I mean, it was a good matchup and
yeah,
played
it's
out
a fun
fun fight to watch. Yeah,
you know, it's one of those like where you roll the dice with the two like freak show massive monsters in hopes that you're just going to start the night off.
You don't
with, like,
realize how big they
KO.
are because they were in the cage together, right?
Yeah.
So only when you get to see like a normal heavyweight will you realize how big those guys are.
Absolutely. If you are listening to this or watching this and you haven't watched Kai Kamaka versus Tony Kelly, oh, dude. You know, it's one of those fights where it's just fire, bro. Absolutely fire. And like at a point, you're like, please stop hitting each other like that. Please stop. Please stop.
You're just shaving years
Dude,
off your career.
Tony Kelly ate some of the most vicious body shots I've seen in my life. Like a left hook to the body, like a real dig, dude. That I'm sure 17 of his ribs are broken today. I promise you, that was in the first round. He actually like almost went down from a body shot in the first round and just came back, bro.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how. I suppose like I've never taken the world's worst body shot, and I just don't know how he does that. I don't know how that dude got back up.
Yeah.
I just don't know how he did it. And he went on to almost win that fight, but like it was super close. And then I was like, I don't know which way it's gonna go, but I think Kai Kamaka got some wrestling going. But yeah, dude, 100%. If you watch one fight this week, go and watch that. It's absolutely insane.
Man,
this
Jim. Can we just talk about Jim Miller and like just that guy was on like the biggest tear ever at one stage in his career, right? He was earmarked to be a lightweight champion at one stage, right? And then like he's just going hot and cold fights. Like one fight, beautiful submission, fantastic puts in a fantastic performance. Next fight, like just struggles to put it together. Then like 3 fights ago, struggles to put it together, but then has a great performance prior to that. He's just like blowing hot and cold at the moment. I love watching that guy. Jim Miller versus Joe Lawson is one of the greatest fights anyone could ever watch.
Just to clear up, are you a fan of Joe Lawson? I just want to clear that up.
Love Joe Lawson, dude. And I love Jim Miller. That's what it was like.
Yeah, dude. Like it's, I sometimes wonder for guys like in Jim Miller's position, like what gets you up? You know what I mean? Like, I mean, if you look at Jim Miller, he still speaks well. He still like physically carries
Yeah.
himself well. He's had like this long career, but he's really carried it really well. You know what I mean? He's not a guy you're like, oh God, please retire.
And he was like
because he's-
super successful.
yeah,
at one
yeah, yeah.
stage.
And he's still in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's still putting on great fights. But you're like, what? It's got to be hard to get up in the morning doing your 36th or 35th fight week in the UFC
Yeah.
or whatever it is, 35th professional fight, and be like, I've been doing this for the last since 2003 or something ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know, like how are you still getting motivated? Like it's
What blows my mind is like someone like Jim Miller, right? Like he's like a really strong grappler. He's black belt in jiu-jitsu. But he like armbars Fabricio Camoj, I don't know how to say his
Yeah.
surname, who's like a world champion level Brazilian jiu-jitsu practitioner. But then can't put it together against like these guys that have hardly ever done jiu-jitsu. Like and it just blows my mind. Like I don't know what's going on in his life or in his career that like he's blowing so hot and cold. But man, I just wish he could get a run going again.
I guess at that point it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of like something has to really spark in your camp, in your week to like really say, okay, otherwise you're just kind of going with it. You know,
dude.
you've done it so many times.
But also it was
Just
such a
another
quick
day.
turnaround as well
Yeah.
from his last fight, dude.
Did you see this, dude? I, for the fear of racking up any more cases of defamation and stuff like this, Verna Jandarova, who's an absolute killer. Okay, here her hair is slightly different, but dude, there's a moment where she got the armbar against Felice Harrigan, gets up and like celebrates. She looked exactly like it's, I want to say it's Juice Bigelow, but it's, I don't know which character it is, bro. It's so bad. It's actually so bad. I wish I could find that.
What
but
do you think Felice Herrick does now, dude? Like,
she's got no team, bro. She's got no gym. Her gym closed.
yeah, but besides, I mean, 100%, she used to train with Joe Warren and them, right?
Yeah,
But
I think she's
or Pat
now-
Curran. Who was it? Joe Warren or Pat Curran that she used to train?
I think Joe Warren.
with? Joe Warren. But
And he just lost his gym, from what I understand.
But
That's what
also
they were
like,
saying.
but if you just look at her career, like she was one of the top 10 at one stage, right? In women's MMA, but she just can't
She's still ranked number 15.
but she just can't put it together. I know, but in the most shallow division in the UFC, right?
Yeah, I hear you.
She just can't put it together at this stage, you know.
I think she's like, ooh, jeez.
Yeah, I can't remember the last time she won.
What happened here? First Kish. I'm pretty sure she lost against Casey. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 in a row. That's pretty heavy. Yeah, that's not going to sit
You
well.
kind of feel like she's more valuable to like leave the UFC and go back to. I think she came from Bellator.
Yeah.
Go back to Bellator and
Yeah.
fight in Bellator.
Well, look, it is cutting season, mate. So
Yeah.
Oaks have been getting the chop,
Yes.
man.
Right.
How's Corey Anderson? It's like, cool. See you later.
Yeah. Well,
Peace.
I think it's a good call, dude.
It is,
Like,
bro. It's one of those. It was like, I was thinking about it. It was with there was who's the Exodus, like Rory McDonald, Gegard Mousasi, and you're like Gegard. You're like, fuck, Gegard still got it. You know what I mean? But like, he
Gegard's
just-
like on the verge of like title contention.
yeah, but he wasn't though at the same time. Like you kind of look at Gegard as he probably thought he's realistically never going to be champion in the UFC. It's just not going to happen for him at the time.
Well, he was like the gatekeeper to the top 5.
Yeah.
You know, like if you want to establish yourself as
Yeah.
a top 5 fighter, beat Gegard.
What a beast, dude.
And then he's done super well in Bellator.
Yeah, but like, it's such a weird thing because I mean, obviously Bellator's it's a great promotion.
Yeah.
But you're like, you're doing great in Bellator, and you're like, does anyone really care? Like, cool
Oh,
for
it's
you.
tough, eh?
Cool for you. You're getting paid. You know what I mean? But like,
Bellator put on a good event.
no, for sure. Like, I'm not saying the show is brilliant.
Yeah.
It's a great show. Bellator's awesome, and like the way they've been innovating and the way they've done things, especially
Yeah.
with the European section and that, it's fucking awesome. But like, if you're not doing well in the UFC, like, no, it's cool. It's cool.
Yeah,
You're
I
a
hear what
killer.
you're saying. Like, I
Like
agree.
it's like Michael Chandler now.
Like no one watched Sergio Pettis the other day.
Exactly, dude.
No one.
No one. I'm like, to me, Sergio Pettis. Would we even put him on a headline of Fight Night right now for UFC? I don't know, dude. You know, but like, it's still good for Bellator. But now it's Michael Chandler. Now, if you want to really throw your name amongst the top in the world, now you got to go to the UFC, and it looks like it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Like, what do you do
Dana's
with a guy
dead
like
keen on
dude?
that,
Yeah. What do you do with a guy like Michael Chandler off the bat? Be like, cool, welcome to the UFC. Let's see what you got.
I think he'll do well in the UFC.
I think
there's
he
like
will.
one or two of those Bellator guys that'll do phenomenally in the UFC. I mean, Eddie had a good transition over from Bellator.
Yeah.
I think Michael Chandler will have a good transition over.
Who? Let's matchmake. Who would we give? Who would we give Michael Chandler on his first outing at lightweight? Hello. I would for sure like.
Yeah, I hate this.
It's horrible. Like off the
UFC
bat,
website. The old one
who
was
would
way
you
better.
give him?
At
Dustin
lightweight?
Poirier?
I mean, that would be a cool fight, especially if you make it happen in Florida, because then you've got the whole ATT versus Henry Hoof's camp. But you have to give him
Paul
like
Felder?
is he retired or unretired?
Well, at least I don't know.
Like an Iaquinta is a good start for him.
Nah.
Yeah, definitely.
Islam Makhachev. Gregor Gillespie, bro. That's not a bad
Yeah,
fight.
that's
But like, you know, Michael
I
Chandler's going to
rate-
be thrown in here, bro.
yeah.
He's got to go Poirier, Ferguson, Dan Hooker, Charles Oliveira, maybe Diego Ferreira. That's not a bad fight, actually. But yeah, I hope they get that done. It sounds like they're going to do. I think it's going to be one of the.
Is he out of contract now?
Yeah, he's a free
Okay.
agent. But yeah, Dana's come out and said that he's
I mean,
dead keen.
you would have imagined that he would have been in the UFC already by this stage of his career.
Yeah, he's a beast, dude. He's an absolute beast. Okay, let's see what happened here. Main card.
Did we finish the prelims there?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so. John Dodson,
I
Diashvili.
called that one.
Yeah,
100%.
I think we all went Diashvili, bro. He's on a tear, dude. He's an animal.
And Dodson, unfortunately, doesn't look great at bantamweight.
Yeah,
I don't know
no.
why he's sticking there. You know, like he was a
Flyweight's probably
he was a
just
murderer
dead,
at
yeah.
flyweight, right? I mean, he got all the way to DJ, then had the 2 against DJ that he couldn't put
Yeah.
together. But I mean, he's a murderer at flyweight. I don't know why he's pushing this bantamweight agenda. I understand like the weight cutting thing, but like his most successful portion of his career has been at a different weight class.
Yeah, 100%. I hear you.
I think he's on the verge of being cut. I wouldn't be surprised if he's cut after
Yeah,
that fight.
yeah.
Because I mean, he's not a cheap fighter to have in like the mid tier of the division.
Yeah. Yeah, wasn't amazed.
Yeah, it wasn't
think-
it wasn't the most fun fight to watch.
Yeah, it wasn't. Diashvili's very much like a grinder, dude.
Yeah.
And the problem at that weight class, if you want to be a big star, or you want to be, you know, to be a bantamweight that's going to grind it out, nobody's watching that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I enjoyed it. I think his style, it's high energy, high pace. The dude does not get tired.
Yeah.
It's his cardio is.
I think he's gonna
freaky,
struggle
dude.
when he gets like
Yeah.
the top 10, top 8, top 7.
Yeah, we got to see. I thought if Sugar O'Malley got past Cheeto, someone like Diashvili would have been a nice test, because you want to give him like a very wrestling based style and see what he does with it. You know what I mean? But alas, Daniel Pineda got the performance there over Herbert Burns.
That was a scrappy fight, eh?
Yeah,
I mean, Pineda gets cut with that knee, but then also cracks Burns at the same time, and then it's just backwards and forwards, just like super sloppy, but like
yeah. Nothing like. Look, Herbert's not Gilbert, pal.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If Gilbert got to the positions that Herbert got to, that the fight would have been over like
over, pal.
quick sticks, dude. Rosenstruck,
Jasper.
touch of death, eh?
Yeah, dude. Heavy, heavy hands, dude. I honestly thought JDS was gonna get this one done. I just thought he would have too much experience, too much grit. But yeah, dude, you just can't deal with that power.
he was doing okay. It was
Yeah.
just like he got backed up to the cage, and I think a lot of the guys haven't quite adapted to the smaller cage.
Yeah.
And he got backed up, and then instead of like circling off hard, right? Try and circle off hard to get out of that position, or get some head movement while circling off on the cage. He just like kind of like hit his back to the thing, and then like kind of stopped, and then that just gave Rosenstruck enough time to cover the distance,
Yeah.
and then just tag him up even more. So
Interesting, bro. Juiced up that heavyweight division.
yeah,
There's a bit of a queue now. Eh? Things
Yeah.
are happening, because like a guy like Jorginho, he's always right there on the door. You know what I mean? I don't know, dude. Can he be a champion in this sort of era? I don't think so.
I just don't think he ever gets past Francis, right?
Yeah, no.
I think
Or
they
Stipe.
fight 10 times. Francis beats him 9 out of 10 times, right?
I think
I think Stipe won't get caught by Jazino either.
No.
But he'll be like one of those like top 5 guys. Just keep it going.
Yeah, but interesting dude. And like to me,
So he's from Suriname, but he's based in Holland, right?
yeah. Well, no, I think he's actually based in Suriname, dude. I'm not entirely
sure?
sure.
No, I'm almost 100% sure he's based in Holland, dude.
I guess he's got to fight Curtis Blades next.
I mean, that makes sense, right?
Yeah. Alan Crowder. What a beast. Yeah, I guess he's got to fight Curtis Blades. I think that's all that's left. Ngannou fights Stipe. That's unless Stipe retires, dude. Imagine being Stipe. You got to go back and have the conversation with your wife that you're not going to face Francis Ngannou.
Dude, let me tell you something. Stipe looked like he was like the best shape he's ever been
Yeah,
in.
he
Dude.
came in a bit lighter, eh?
He came in nice and lean, and he looked like, in general, like he looked pretty good. Like I don't enjoy heavyweight fighting, right? Like I find it.
What's wrong with you?
No, I find it like the skill level displayed at the lower weight classes always supersedes when you see it. But the heavyweights is fun to watch because there's generally a
Action, yeah.
There's generally a finish.
And even if there's not a finish, if it's high level like DC Stipe, you constantly on your feet because you know one mistake and it's over. You know what I mean? So you can't, like in a high level fight where both guys are eating a lot of shots, you're like, whew, damn. Like I was actually thinking watching that fight. We'll get into that, but I was actually thinking I don't know if Stipe can still face Francis like this, eating that amount of punishment. You know what I mean? It's a different story with that.
Especially with Francis regaining momentum, dude.
Yeah, and confidence.
And like learning from the first time he went through that skid.
What did you make of this fight before the stoppage?
Okay, this is gonna sound like I'm talking
Marlon
shit.
Vera, Sean O'Malley.
This is gonna sound like I'm talking shit about Sugar Sean O'Malley, right? But like, he didn't look like he was interested in being there from the get go, dude. Like he was like kind of like just like he looked like he was like super complacent, but he didn't like look like he was in it.
But overconfident.
Yeah,
maybe.
But even like when the fight started, he didn't look like he was like switched on, dude. And then obviously he rolled his ankle. I don't know what the damage was in the end with that, but I mean, I think he's gonna keep struggling against the top guys in this division, dude. I don't think he's at that level yet.
This was always going to be the conversation, you know what I mean? And I suppose I didn't dive too much into what was happening in the MMA world today, but I did see that the conversation had already started. Was he pushed too fast and this? And I'm like, no, he definitely wasn't. He's not. It's not like he's just arrived. You know what I mean?
100%.
He's talking this big talk. They were talking about him fighting Cody Garbrandt 3 weeks ago.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And you're like, and this is the funny thing with like the casuals, like they can't. Someone couldn't believe yesterday. They were actually in shock that O'Malley had lost. I'm like, dude, do you know who Marlon Vera is? They're like, no, but I can't believe he lost.
But that's what I said the last time we were here. It's like he hasn't really fought like any standout fighters, dude. Like, and it's nice for him in his career that they've like progressively pushed him along, and but like Marlon's on a different level, dude. Like Marlon's only falling short on the top 5 guys.
So I didn't see the complacency, if I'm honest. I saw an O'Malley who was comfortable being there, who was quite calm, and I think in the first minute, maybe minute and a half, he was doing pretty well. But Marlon quickly made adjustments. He quickly started to read the timing, and he was not that he had turned a tide or anything, but he was starting to gain a bit of momentum.
Yeah.
What do you think happened to his leg?
Well, they showed that replay where
Yeah, but what do you think caused that? I think he ate a calf kick. I honestly do.
But when they tried to find the calf kick, they couldn't find it.
Is it?
Yeah. Because they were saying that there was like, I think Dom Cruz even said on the commentary, is like, because they made reference to
Henry
Cejudo's situation. They were like, okay, but he hasn't eaten any calf kicks yet, and his leg is numb. And then they went back and they saw that like he took a step and he like his toes got caught on the mat and then he rolled his ankle. But like when he was getting tagged by Marlon, you know, like Sean O'Malley normally like try and get some head movement going and try and move out and use some footwork to try and get out. But he was like eating there, like he just didn't look clicked on, dude.
Yeah,
Like it just
I hear you.
it didn't look like the Sean O'Malley that had been that
So
you saw coming up from the Contender series and doing all these different things against Sukamath and
Yeah.
all those oaks, dude.
so do you think he just like lazily dragged his leg and messed it up, or something was going on there?
Good night.
So-
dude.
so-
I'd love to know what the damage was because
So they don't know
he was
yet.
struggling, eh?
The thing popped up. They did an X-ray. There was no break, but they can't do the MRI until the swellings come down.
Yeah.
So there's obviously something wrong there.
yeah.
I mean, if it's
100%.
too swollen for an MRI, there's something going on.
yeah.
Tendon, knee. I don't know, dude. That was super weird. Marlon Vera said that he checked the kick and he thinks that's what destroyed his leg.
Oh, like on the shin.
Yeah.
Oh, so he would have like maybe caught
So
on the side of the
you're
calf.
saying like they exchanged low kicks, I think, and then I think O'Malley landed a calf kick, I think quite a juicy one, and then went to throw another one and Vera checked it. He was saying he thinks that's what jacked his leg up. But like
after,
you say, they
after a
can't
calf
see it,
kick and
that's-
broke a metatarsal the one time.
That doesn't sound like fun.
No, well,
But yeah, dude,
it
I think-
never feels like it never heals. It's still fucking sore.
Look, I think this is always going to be the Sean O'Malley way, and unfortunately, it's clouded with a bit of controversy in a way, because you're saying, like, you know, I mean, the casuals will say, well, his leg was hurt and he couldn't carry on. Marlon Vera will say he caused that leg to do that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So I don't know. But that being said, like, and I had to give this quite a bit of thought, because obviously the reactions came straight from Cody Garbrandt saying, like, tweeting straight away, like, some of us are not meant for war, and Cejudo had something to say. Can you fight through something like that? Like, some guys can, I guess. Some guys can. You know what I mean? You look at a guy like who was it recently, Josh Emmett, whose knee was just obliterated, bro,
Yeah.
against Shane Burgos. It was obliterated. Like, I think,
But you find a way, dude.
and he just carried on going. You know what I'm saying? So, like,
But even you look at Jose Aldo when he
Yeah.
broke his foot in the second round
Yeah.
and it like blew up like a balloon. That foot was broken. They had X-rays showed it was broken. He fought
Yeah.
like 3 rounds with a broken
And
foot
still kicked
and
with
still
it,
won,
bro.
dude. Yeah, he still had used the whole like leg kick like type of game that he
Yeah.
plays. You know, like
Yeah.
that Dutch style, kind of like chop you down type of style. So I don't know, dude. It also
so can we call him pudding, or is it being a bit harsh?
no, I think he'll get there. I just think I think he shows the signs of being like a future superstar.
Yeah.
But like, you know, like he can take some time now and like
Yeah.
rebuild.
Slow down. Yeah.
Like maybe fight some guys in like 15 to 20 in that type of like ranking.
Dude, Marlon Vera is a killer, but
I know, dude.
What I did see, oh god, what I did see is O'Malley. The second he figured out he couldn't put pressure onto that foot, it was he kind of gave in. He didn't want to actually try and grind it out. He was like, well, I'm done.
Yeah.
That's in my opinion. That's what I saw.
No, I agree
the,
with you
the, the way he
completely.
lost his footing and went down and just accepted the elbow and the big right hand.
Well, that's key. Is he just accepted it?
He
Dude,
just
didn't
accepted
try
it.
and
Yeah,
like
he
defend,
wasn't
dude.
even trying. He was just like, well, fuck, get me out of
Yeah.
here. That's what I saw. And the other thing is Marlon Vieira's killer. His instinct when he smells blood, dude, is
Yeah.
whoa. It's scary, dude.
Yeah.
I think he's seven finishes in a row.
Well, he lost his last fight, right?
Yeah. Well, technically
Technically.
against Song Yudong, whatever his name is.
Yeah. Who will also be a superstar one day.
Yeah, he's a beast. Okay. KO TKO there. Why does it do this?
Oh, was that card not cancelled, dude?
Yeah, you might be right, actually. So check your but all finishes, eh?
Yeah.
Okay, there's a decision. So we got
But you
1,
lost the decision that way.
2, 3, 4. Okay, 5 finishes. But he's
No,
got
but I mean that's a great finish rate at such a high level, dude.
he's got more down the line, I would guess. But
I enjoy watching
he's an absolute
Marlon Vera,
beast,
dude.
dude. And like he's a contender now, because that's what happens. You know what I mean? You become the big name overnight.
Yeah, dude.
Now everyone knows who you are. So it's worked in
He's got a
your
nice
favour.
little camp together. He worked with Colin Oyama there at Team Oyama, and then he's got Perillo out to the Ruka Center. Then he's a 10th. I think he's a 10th planet black belt, if I'm not mistaken.
Really, eh?
Yeah.
Shit.
I mean, I'm led to correction on that, but I know he's like deeply connected in the 10th planet system, dude.
He looks like a 10th planet guy.
Yeah. Dude, when Don and myself were there, there's this one dude. He was so stoned, dude. Like Eddie's like trying to explain the technique, but like how it works is you do like, I don't know, like it's a 3-hour class, right? You do like
Jesus.
45 minutes of like drills and warm-ups and whatever, and then Eddie talks for an hour, right? You're ice cold, dude. No one does anything for an hour. You just sit there. This dude was sitting, one of his like top like ranked guys, sitting against the cage, just dorsing, dude, like the entire time. I'm like, what is going on around you, dude? Oaks are like sitting in the back talking. I'm like, this feels so wrong. Like this feels, and yeah, he definitely looks like the type of guy that you'd find in one of Eddie's studios.
Not the dude sleeping on the cage.
Oh no.
On a Monday maybe. But
One of the murderers, dude. Like,
yeah, definitely. And then the end of the trilogy.
Yeah,
Quite
dude.
sad that it's over.
yeah. See, when Stipe dug that one body shot in round 1, I was like, oh yeah,
Here we
go.
go. DC was a bit bent biscuits afterwards with the eye poke, eh?
I mean, they're 1-for-1 on eye pokes in the fight.
Well, also DC's eye poked almost everybody.
Yeah, dude. But what I don't understand, right? You try one single leg the whole
Yeah.
fight, right? And then you
Weird.
revert back to a kickboxing fight when you're an Olympic level wrestler. I just don't understand.
This is
it,
exactly what Rich said, because he was talking about it becomes like a thing of ego. You wanna stand when you've got this ability to wrestle.
dude.
And
To
you-
wrestle the fuck out of the guy.
exactly. And Rich was saying he's like, I'm gonna pick Stipe purely based on the fact that I think DC he's gonna go with the ego fight and try and knock him out.
Yeah. It just blows my mind, dude. This like ragdoll Dan Henderson, who is a decorated wrestler.
But the single leg worked.
Yeah.
He got it to the deck.
Yeah, look, Stipe was still fresh and was
Yeah.
managed to get the
Yeah.
underhook and get back up. But I mean, if he had done that late in round 2, if he had started doing that more in round 3, 4, 5, I mean, he could have grinded that out for a nice win, dude. The thing is, like, he didn't respect Stipe's striking enough, even though Stipe had TKO'd him in the previous fight. But like, if you remember when he fought Anthony Johnson, right?
Johnson, yeah.
He wrestled the fuck out of that guy,
Yeah,
dude,
yeah.
because he knew that Oak was going to sleep him like easy in the stand-up, right? And it just felt like DC didn't respect Stipe enough in the striking, and he wanted to prove that he was a better striker than him.
Yeah, or he just doesn't have the confidence at his age and weather to fight a fight like that anymore.
Dude, I'd back him more in a wrestling match than in a kickboxing.
I hear
fight.
you, but perhaps he spends so much time on the feet that it's just become like he just doesn't have the confidence of like a younger DC that could grind you out for 25 minutes. You know what I mean? Against a guy who's going to be heavier, who's going to, you know.
But if
I
you
don't
know if
dude.
this fight's going to be your swan song and that's
Yeah.
it, dude, like there's nothing after this, surely you give everything in that camp to ensuring the victory, dude.
or you want to go out in emphatic fashion and just hunt that knockout.
I
Just
know,
be
but
the
that's
guy
so
to knock out
risky,
Stipe.
though.
Yeah.
That's so you already knocked him out once, dude. Like you don't need to prove it again. Like
Yeah,
now you can
I
just
hear
play
you.
the tactical
I hear
game.
you. Yeah, I don't know, dude. I didn't like the way DC emphasized that it was his eye that had caused problems and was like, oh, I don't want to complain about it. But he was obviously bitter about it.
But it was at the end of round 3. He was already down
Yeah.
in the fight, dude. It wasn't like
yeah,
he was.
but it's not even. It's part of the game, dude.
Yeah.
You've been doing it your whole career. You
did it
basically
earlier on in the
shoving exactly.
He
you
did it earlier in the
basically
fight.
shoving your fingers into somebody's face.
The only difference
repeatedly.
between what happened earlier in the fight when he eye-poked Stipe and when Stipe eye-poked him is that the ref didn't pick up on his
Yeah.
one, right? So he didn't give him the 5 minutes to
Yeah.
recover. But it wasn't intentional,
Yeah.
right? And he got like the 1 minute between round 3 and 4, and that even like by the end of the fight he hadn't recovered from that eye poke, right?
No.
But I mean,
And his cornea is torn.
yeah, 100%. But it's like that 5 minute stoppage wouldn't have helped the situation, right? They would have
No.
continued, and he wouldn't have been able to finish. Then they would have gone. They would have gone to when they call the fight with an accidental foul. Then they go to the scorecards.
Yeah.
He would have still lost.
Yeah.
So I don't know. You can't be too bent about it. But I can understand being upset that you got eye poked, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, you infamous for eye poking people,
And
dude.
at the same time, like it's not as if he then had like a huge hematoma on that side because he had taken so many right hands. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It wasn't like Stipe picked up on it and just started throwing like loopy right hooks
Yeah,
because
yeah.
he couldn't see. You know what I mean? Because that's not how you actually lost.
Yeah.
Because what made you lose is bad decisions. That's what I was trying. I was like for me, and this has always been. I don't know. Like because when DC fought Anderson, everybody hated him, bro.
Yeah.
Everyone was booing him all the time and like
Yeah.
they didn't like his style. But now everyone loves DC because he's become like this because of the commentary and like I do love DC, but what I don't like is that the fact that he still can't admit that John Jones caught him from a mistake that he made. He still like pretends like that fight never happened and it was all the juice. I'm like, the juice didn't make you lean that way repeatedly.
Yeah.
That landed the head kick, you know what I'm saying? And you didn't lose here because of your eye. You lost here because you made bad decisions, and now you're sour about it.
Yeah.
That for a guy, especially for a guy like DC, if it's like some other duos who you'd expect it from, cool. But to see something like that from DC, you're kind of like, come on, dude. You know what I mean? Like, come on, because you and you know what happens with DC? He's already envisioned this way he's going to ride into the sunset,
Yeah.
and it hasn't happened.
Yeah.
Now he's bitter about it, and he's got an excuse. Look, I can't say obviously an excuse because it's his cornea is torn, so it was obviously
It was
serious.
significant.
It was
dude.
a significant damage,
Yeah.
but.
But at the same time,
You're also in a
guilty
cage.
of-
Exactly. You're also in a cage fighting another man. Like
Yeah.
these things are gonna happen, dude. It's
Yeah.
the same as Sean O'Malley, bro. Your leg's gonna get jacked up. You got to decide if you're gonna fight through it or not.
So when Stipe outpoked DC was backing him up with the strikes, and Stipe put his arms out to like try and keep the distance so he could circle off. Whereas when DC outpokes you, it's him coming forward and putting his hand out, right?
Yeah.
Open palm. So there's more intention in what DC does than what Stipe is doing, right? Stipe is primal.
It's a
and
natural reaction. Yeah.
So I don't know. I hate that. You know, like, just take it on the chin and be like, okay, I had a good career. I fucked a lot of oaks up.
Yeah. Yeah, dude.
One of the best to have ever done it.
One of the best combat sport athletes of all time.
But now you're like, everyone just remembers you as the sour oak that.
I don't know if too many people read it like that. I don't know.
The thing
like,
is,
you're always going to be
you
blinded
still got
by
the whole like John Jones debacle that he's still
exactly
never lets go, dude.
Yeah, and I do get that. But again, what I'm saying is like, if you lost to John Jones on a 5-round decision and cardio was the factor, and then he popped for these picograms, you'd be bitter about it. You'd be like, fuck. No wonder this oak won with the cardio advantage. He was juicing. But him like when he's exposed your weakness and caught you with a head kick because you've made the same mistake repeatedly. You know what I mean? And like, he was still dipping that side in this fight. He was still doing it. You know what I mean? And you're like, you have to acknowledge that.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. It went your way. You got the no contest. But like, you'd expect a guy like DC to be able to say, look, that is a mistake I made, and fuck, I've got to fix it. And you'd expect him to say, look, our poke's part of the game. Stipe was the better man. Like, all you've done is kind of like drag away from this trilogy of how closely matched you guys were, how you both had these great moments in 2 fights, and a third fight where it was, dude, this is one of my favorite fights of the year because it was that constant feeling of any second now, one of these guys can make a mistake and it's over.
Yeah.
And it was like that from start to finish. It was like an absolute chess match. You know what I mean? And both guys had insane moments where you're like, fuck. I think DC got rocked. Was it in the third?
Yeah, he did. He was still wobbly on the
on the stool.
On the stool.
Yeah.
Dude.
Oh yeah, they're still like icing his head and stuff.
Yeah, he's like No, I think it was the end of the second. He's still like, he's like, put ice on my head, because you got dullard like on the top of his scalp, dude. Because then no, it was the end of the first, right? Because then Stipe still mounts him against the cage, and then just starts
you're
pounding on him, dude.
You're right.
So yeah.
And someone still scored the first round for DC, actually.
I saw that. I was like, the most inconsistent scorecards I've ever seen, dude.
They always are, though. I had Stipe 4-1, but then like I saw everyone, and I was like, okay, well maybe I was a little bit wrong, but
no, I also went 4-1, dude.
Yeah, that was the way I saw it.
Yeah.
But anyway, it was a good fight, bro. It was a good fight. I was just a bit like I wasn't happy with the way DC handled
5 rounds, 2 attempts, 1 takedown. Like, come on.
Scary.
Come on.
Dude.
Wasn't even like, you didn't even like really attempt the wrestling side of this thing.
Scary, eh? Look at those significant strikes. Also tight, eh? 61, 57%. Pass.
Yeah, that was all that one.
Mount. Jeez, dude. Check out the headshot. 67 absorbed, 70 absorbed, 31 to the body. Oh no, these are landed, eh?
Yeah.
67 to the head. 31 shots to the body, pal. 17. Not many a leg kick, eh? But yeah, it was a great fight, dude. Honestly, like,
Yeah.
hopefully
I
DC
enjoyed
can
it.
find some peace.
What's next in the UFC world?
Oh, dude, it just keeps coming, bro. It's so hectic.
Oh, we got Cheyenne fighting tomorrow
Yeah.
for the Contender Series. I saw
That's
she
gonna
made
be
weight
good.
today. She's fighting Heather something, I don't know.
Yeah, dude. I think she'll, if she can get it done, and I'm sure she will. Oh yeah, Pedro Munoz versus Edgar.
That is a nice fight, dude.
If she can get it done,
That is a very nice fight. Frankie for sure should get a haircut. Though.
fuck that, dude. Efra Frankie's my spirit animal. Need that shit. Yeah, dude. Hopefully she can get it done. I think she'll be a good addition. Owens versus Alonzo Menafield.
Those are
Jesus,
two
dude.
huge
Jesus.
individuals,
This must be.
dude.
Is it a light heavy?
Yeah, dude. I stood next to Owens in January, dude. That oak is massive. Trying to like, you know, like sometimes guys look
She's
bigger on TV, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, that oak's, and then you see them in real life, you're like, oh, dude, Owens is a superhuman, dude. Like he is
He's a
massive,
beast.
China.
Yo, they've just chucked this card together. Hey, they're like, okay, you've been signed from Dana White Contender Series. How's the next?
The
week?
main card's not so bad, but it's like that undercard.
Okay. Okay, UFC. Like we could have for sure maybe skipped this card and thrown these Zerks on another one.
Wait, this guy. Actually, just the first two are decent. Then
Yeah, and then we're Takashi Soto is always fun, but yeah, we're clutching at straws there, UFC.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I'm not hating. It's fine.
and then what's after that one?
It's Gaethje Khabib.
Yeah,
but
but
there's gonna be a break, and then it's gonna be Gaethje Khabib. Dude, this I can't tell you how excited I am for this card. Still no
no venue.
no venue. I think it's gonna be Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, makes sense, dude.
I think it's already done. They just obviously aren't announcing it just yet.
Khabib.
Huh? There's nothing else on this card. What are you talking about? No, man. There's definitely.
And then after that is
They've announced what's on this card though. Just can't remember. Okay. Yeah, dude, it's been a wild ride, eh?
yeah.
This whole UFC COVID operation has been a wild ride.
Any news on our local promotion?
Not a word. And it's like trying to get hold of the Illuminati to speak to those oaks.
Oh,
Look,
man.
I tell you the scenario in my head. They were trying to come back. It's gonna take a lot of money to get this moving. That's the UFC.
It's going to take a lot of money in a time when money
Is a big problem.
is scarce.
Can you tap? Can you reach it over there? Thanks, Rourke. Yeah. Hit enter.
On a side note, we are looking for a new producer.
It's going to take a lot of money to meet all the protocols and stuff like that, which is going to be tough. Dude, and this is.
Let's
this
not
is
even
something-
talk about TF2 because we've got some very serious discussions to go about TF2.
Dude, like it's okay. So this is the like the pinnacle of what we've got here at the moment, dude. This is unfortunately, we just saw Devin Crinier signed to Aries, Amanda Lino signed to Aries. There's a couple of issues here, dude. And like I was saying a little while ago for the EFC, what
Manon signed to Brave.
yeah, and she fought in UAE. What is going to become a problem here to come back when you're competing now against the UFC for broadcast right, and we've sat and watched how the UFC has pulled shit off,
Yeah.
and you're gonna go through this list quickly, bro.
Okay, let's
So-
just
So Jared Van Der Raa is fighting in the Contender Series. That's obviously doesn't mean too much, but
he could very well be gone.
and yeah,
There's also no finances to bring these oaks out at
exactly.
the moment.
Simon Biong, from what I understand, is soon going to be in the Contender Series. There's obviously issues, visa issues, flight issues
Yeah.
at the moment. Drickus is on the verge of signing for the UFC, from what I understand.
Yeah.
It's no secret, I think.
Yeah.
We've spoken about this. I think he's going to lapse. It's going to be soon. It's going to be now, August, September. Somewhere along the line, it's a done deal.
Yeah.
When he can get out of here, we don't know. Temba, we still don't know what's happening with Temba, but it seems like he's signing elsewhere. He's pretty much parted ways with the EFC.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Joe Cummins, same story, dude. You know what I mean? He's not active. He lost that fight. He took that fight in the UK. Again, it's not happening this year. We're not going to see him. He's been, when did he fight? Martin van Saren.
February was the first weekend of March 2019.
Bess has been just as active. Also signed with First Round Management. A lot of talk that he's going to sign somewhere else, but again, he hasn't been active, dude. Like, where are you going to sign? Like, you know what I mean? You've done nothing for a long time. So Faiz is the champion we've got, and he's here to stay. Jake Hadley signed with Cage Warriors. Amanda Lino signed with Aries. Manon Firoz signed with Brave. Wojcik signed with KSW.
Done. You got one champion
You've
left.
got one champion, dude. And it's not even about the champion with all
At least the belt thing won't be an issue anymore.
Yeah, you only need one.
Oh, man.
You know? So
we're definitely not getting seats cage side anymore.
yeah, no, we're done. With all due respect to the roster, there's just no star power.
No, there's not
There's
much
just
of a
no
roster anymore.
there's just no star power, and there's not much of a roster. There's no. That's what I'm saying to you. Like the very unfortunate circumstance is that this card that we were all making fun of, because let's be honest, we were making fun of this card. I don't care what anybody says. You know what I mean? Robert Swanepoel versus Tommy Stratham. Okay. Elvis Nguala versus Sanchez. Okay. Kanyinda versus Kasanda. Okay. If we have to. Kundari, who's a featherweight, fighting JT Buerta, who can fight at light heavyweight. Okay. P.D. Coxon versus Luke Michael. Okay. That's going to be a good fight. Maningela versus Madiba. Drotsky versus Badati is going to be a good fight. Nothing here is going to move a needle. I might even just catch it on the highlights the next day. You know what I'm saying? And I'm an absolute fucking degenerate. I'll watch his shadow box if I have to. But, you know what I'm saying? But man. I'm like, I'm if it's in Carnival City, I'm gonna be sick there.
Well,
I'm not gonna drive there.
But you also, it makes zero sense to put it in an arena. They should just do it at the PR.
No,
it's actually behind closed doors.
But dude, like I'm saying to you, you're in a position now where through bad athlete management, okay, obviously the financial stuff is a big problem, and just the way you've gone about your business has left you in a position where now you're in the trenches and you've got to get out of these trenches. You've got nobody left. Drickers cannot keep saving the show. Drickers cannot keep carrying the weight.
Agreed.
They're talking about Drickers versus Drotsky. Like, okay, and then what? You got
three
titles. Because now you're starting to water yourself down, bro.
You've only just spoken about the champions, but then you go one level down. The guys that were like kind of like in the shadows, but also could be like superstars. But they've also signed to elsewhere, dude. You got no Lazar anymore.
Yeah.
That's
a good one.
You know, like there's a lot of guys. DeMart's never coming back to the ESC, right?
Dude, even
Jakasa's out of there.
Don't know where he is. He's long since retired. The doctor, we could call up the doctor. I mean, Simon Hall's still carrying the weight there. Let's for sure get Mapata Makishi in there with that toupee. Vessel makes way too much money to waste his time. Tony Mustard will be in a heartbeat. Ricky Macholas.
I mean, Ricky's probably the only guy that you can push up there now, dude.
Nico Yamji. It's gonna be like Ricky Macholas versus Nico Yamji for the title because they're the only dudes. I would throw Jean Bizet not in there. Ruan Potts, maybe you can have another stab at the title, eh?
Maybe they should throw Jean in against Ricky because Ricky would probably obliterate that guy.
Dude. Light heavyweight. But that, I guess. Techno Viking 0-4.
If I was the EFC, I'd put all my money on. I'd like put a lot of money into promoting Badat.
Yeah, dude.
He's so marketable, dude.
And he's a real deal. There's nothing here, dude. Like
Happy birthday to Shordine for the other day.
Happy birthday, Shordine. Happy birthday, Warren King, for the other day. Dude, I don't know. I don't know. It's not a comforting scene at the moment.
No, it's super.
I don't know what you do, dude. Like, oh, it's so.
I mean, you got someone marketable in Justin Smith, but it seems like he's never fighting in the UFC again.
But again, it comes down to bad management, and in this sort of case, it's this thing of Justin Smith thinks he's here, but you got to be active and you got to be winning. If you're not active, you're not winning. Nobody cares, dude. You can say whatever you want, you want. Nobody cares. And if you want to shout at the EFC and demand 100K, it's just not going to fucking happen.
No, dude.
You know what I mean? Like, if you're smart enough and you're confident in what you're going to do, you'll look at the situation and say, look, if I can get into the EFC, talk a lot, market myself, 6 wins in a row, pick up a title, carry on winning, and then I'm an agent. You know what I mean? You have to have that mindset. And if nobody close to you has stopped and told you this, then you need to look at the guys around you. If you said, if you're going to sit and demand money from the EFC, which is a fucking great production, but realistically, as good as everybody else, there's hardly any money to be made there. When you're getting into a champion, you're making better money. So let's get there first before you start making demands. You can't be diva. You can't play diva when you're not active and you're not winning. I'm sorry, dude. It's just the way it is.
Well, that's the thing. Like, people don't realize that we had one massive disadvantage. We're geographically separated from the rest of the world. We don't have anywhere close to us that has any sort of MMA community, right? So your two options are you either turn pro and you go overseas and you try and make it overseas on your own dime, or you sit here and you push through the EFC, dude. You understand you're not going to make money. You're going to put in 4 or 5 fights to get to a title shot. Yeah. Get your title shot. You're going to defend that thing once, twice, maybe, right? And then, like you say, then you become someone that they might be willing to pay for you to fly out and fight in their promotion.
Well, look at Temba, for example. And that's exactly what Temba did. Whatever you want to say about Temba, what he did was he had this resurgence when he's like, you know what, in his head, he could be the welterweight champion in the UFC, and that's a decision he made. So he used the platform that the EFC provided instead of worried about the money. He knew he would make money there. He worked his sponsors, he worked his fan base, he worked that kind of stuff, his home appeal to Zim, and he worked it. You know what I'm saying? His vision was to use the platform to understand that there's a massive platform here that's seen all over the world. Yeah. Understand what I'm saying? And there is a relationship between Cairo and the UFC, the European center of the UFC. Yeah. So you can work it. You know, and Cairo can open the door for you, maybe as a manager or whatever it is. I got no problem with fighters being managed by Cairo. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Being backed by a smart businessman who's been in the game for a very long time, who basically
built the professional
environment for this professional MMA in the country. You know what I'm saying? So there's nothing wrong with that. And if you can stick to that relationship and it can work for you 100%, but you have to use the platform. It's so frustrating watching a guy like Justin Smith, because I'm a big fan of Justin Smith. And if he hears this, he'll probably get bleak with what I'm saying, but that's fine. It has to be said. It's so frustrating watching a guy like that who's realistically, okay, in a South African landscape, beaten big names. Giovanni is a big name for the people who know who he is.
Well, people forget that Giovanni was around before the UFC, so that's why he is a bit of a name.
No, for sure, he is a name. It's a hard fucking fight to take. You know what I'm saying? And cool, and you won that fight, and you had things to say, and you carried on, you looked impressive, but you got to carry on doing that. You can't now lose to Gordon Rutman. You know what I'm saying?
The reality is, on paper, it says he lost to Gordon Rutman.
100%.
And
you're still barking the same song.
And anyone that's looking to sign someone, I mean, so what people forget is, like, they think, okay, I've won a couple, people should be wanting to be part of this hype train, right? But you don't realize, like, you're either going to fight and create a name for yourself that you are signed by another promotion directly, right? And they come to the UFC and they're interested in you fighting their promotion, or you're a big enough name that a big management company are willing to represent you, right? And when a big management comes and they're willing to represent you, it opens doors into various avenues. You know, they can find a way for you to get to America, to train in a camp in America and get you in that circuit and build you because they see potential in you. Problem is, like, a lot of the guys are like, they think they're a superstar, but they're like, they've won half their fights only. They've they get this idea that they are bigger than the sport because they
Yeah.
got into one main card once, right? And then that's how they behave. But you need to realize that this is a very small part of a massive industry, dude.
Yeah.
And like to get seen in this industry, like you're gonna have to just grin and bear the shit that you have to deal
Yeah.
with in South Africa, dude.
100%. And I think if you've looked at, if you look at the guys that have done it well, okay, Don was a bit different because I think he just blasted his way there and he worked the opportunities in front of him. You know,
Yeah.
he got to know the right people. He traveled the world, so he's met people over the world, and he's obviously a massive talent. Drickus isn't arguing with the EFC because he knows it's not permanent.
Yeah.
His goals are bigger.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Temba as well. His goals
Well,
are
the
bigger.
the KSW thing happened based on how he conducted himself in the EFC.
Exactly. And that's exactly what I'm trying to say. Don't diva out at the EFC. If you want to stay in the EFC for the
Gareth
rest of your life,
McKellen's a good example as well. Ruin Potts,
They earned their way. You know, if you just want to become a top tier fighter in the EFC, that's fine. Do your thing. But if you're not active and you're not winning, nobody cares, dude.
Yeah.
Because you know, it's at a time like this where the UFC's picked up so much momentum for MMA and it's carrying the MMA name across, because people forget there isn't much sport available, and there was fuck all when the UFC was happening. Fuck all.
Yeah.
So people were tuning in.
No,
And now,
definitely, dude.
when the EFC comes back, people are going to be like, okay, cool, let's see what we've got on offer here locally. And then you're going to, that's going to be your opportunity. But if
Yeah.
you're going to diva out, bro, you're going to shoot yourself in the foot. You know what I'm saying?
Agreed, dude.
But yeah, dude, it's not a great picture. The EFC have got a lot of hard work to do. If I was them, not that I know what. Don't listen to me. I'm a fucking dummy. I don't know what I'm talking about. But if it was me, if I was in this position, I would sit and jot out 12, so 6 fights, the best possible fights I could possibly make.
Yeah.
Pay what needs to be paid. That's where obviously the money has to go into COVID protocols, getting the production, everything spot on. And then the large portion of the budget needs to be, look, what are the biggest and best fights we could put on right now?
Yeah. Agreed. Completely.
That's what you have to
agreed.
do.
Yeah.
Who can we bring back? Martin's still around. We can bring back Martin. Soldier Boy's still around. We can get Soldier Boy on the card. Who can they fight? Start picking those out and start seeing how you can do that. Even if there's 5 fight cards and you're going like strong main event, strong co-main, and you just got to
Just put on a main card, dude. Don't
Yeah.
even do prelims.
6 fights, dude. I'm talking about 6
Yeah.
fights. 6 fights and get it done. 100%.
Agreed.
You know, that's how I would do it. But yeah, it's a scary state of affairs. Talking about the fighter too. Shout out to Gary King Pilates there.
Yes, and my wife doing some strange things there on the screen.
Hit us with the search there.
You don't even need to tell me.
Powerful Alice Ardelian. Look, I think it's first and foremost, you just got to say, we're not hating on it. We're just very intrigued by what's going on here. You all remember.
So Alice was a competitor in TF2 and strong competitor as well.
Yeah.
She put on some decent. I don't think she lost in TF2, did she?
I think it was. Didn't she lose when it was?
She won the
Dodge, though?
opening round, but then got concussed or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Her Instagram is interesting. You know, like Rourke said.
It's getting super spicy.
Yeah, it's getting super spicy. If you're anyone who's into fans only, there you go. I'm not exactly sure I know what fans only, what it is, to be honest.
Well, it's obviously some subscription thing.
Like there's some crazy stuff going down here.
I saw she was like advertising like
it's
like $10 or whatever. For sure, for $10, get yourself a Netflix subscription to start with. Right? I'm not hating on Alice. I'm just saying,
Look,
for $10,
there's like some twerking
like 10
going on here.
for like $10, I for sure would be doing Netflix.
Look, if you're the EFC right now, you're like, maybe we can get Alice Hardy. She's marketable. Yeah, it's very interesting. It's super, super interesting. I'm not quite sure I understand what's going on, but anyway, That's what Alice Arlion's been up to. What have you guys been up to during COVID?
How's your COVID been?
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. There's a bit of soft porn. It's intriguing. I don't quite know what to say about it, if I'm honest. But anyway, moving along swiftly.
Well, there was a couple of those chicks in that thing that definitely weren't scared to get undressed.
There was definitely some debauchery going on. I remember walking.
I don't think those cameras caught everything that happened on that show.
I'm not. Yeah, no, definitely. Listen, there was a time when I walked in there, and I don't know if they're going to hear this. I know Dallin's a pretty big fan of the show, and the other dude who I can't remember his name, the two motocross riders. And I'm like, why are they I'm like, oh wait, that's why they're here. That's why they're here. Yeah. I'm like, who are these two random dudes that are here? And they're like some like world champion motocross riders. I'm like, what are they? I'm like, oh wait, hang on. I don't need to ask what they're doing.
They're all about the TNA.
Yeah. Things are going down, boy. Things are going down. I reckon those poor oaks probably had to get breathing apparatus after a while so they could just fucking just catch a breath. Just catch a breath. Shout out to them though. Fucking good for them. Yeah, dude. Other than that, that's it. It was a good weekend of fights. I mean, I'm loving the fights. They just keep coming.
Yeah, I'm interested for tomorrow night for anyone who wants to watch Cheyenne.
Yeah, Cheyenne. That's going to be
on the contender really series. It's going to be lacquer. JP was meant to fight, couldn't get his visa done, but he's postponed to September.
Right? Yeah, that's what I understand. I suppose it's all dependent on that. On visa.
That would be the second husband-wife combo in the UFC, right?
First ever in Dana White contender series.
Second in the UFC. Yeah. Pretty interesting.
Pretty sick. Also.
Oh, one last thing we must talk about. PVZ going to bare knuckle fighting championships.
Fuck, dude.
What is going on, dude?
What in the hell?
Is she crazy?
They're gonna destroy that pretty face.
Dude, the unfortunate reality is that she keeps saying that she wants to break away, that her looks got her where she was, right? But like a big part of your marketability comes from your looks. Like people aren't throwing money at you and putting you on Dancing with the Stars because you don't look great.
I think it's pretty clear that you're not a top 5 murderer. So
yeah, she's competitive. She's a competitive professional female fighter, and she's skilled in certain areas. But like,
yeah, dude.
I mean, surely the Bellator getting into the Viacom system,
way better.
Surely that makes the most sense, dude.
Way better.
Like they're saying, bare knuckles giving her $1 million, like her contract's worth $1 million. It's worth more to you and your brand to go to Viacom Bellator for $750,000.
It makes no sense to me.
And bare knuckle hasn't even proved their sustainability yet, right? Bare knuckle you might not even see that $1 million contract, but you get carved up. You're gonna get like.
You ask Jay Cuccinello, bro.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's brutal, dude.
Chucky Cuccinello.
Well, Beck Rawlings was their lady fighter that they were trying to, promote. And she's bounced ship already. She's not even in bare knuckle anymore. She's at Bellator now. Dude. It's like... also, PBZ isn't known for her boxing ability. Like, her one knockout was a switch kick knockout.
Did you see that I sent the meme of... Page versus Paulie Malignaggi.
Oh, yeah. Oh, goodness. What is going on, dude?
That has to be... Did I send it to you guys?
Yeah, you did. I saw it. I don't know if you sent it to me or if it was posted or something like that. Oh, but dude. I saw that Page versus... Oh, you better not show what's on that thing, dude.
Be fast. Be fast. We got to get out of
here. Just
Don't
check.
Ever open a group chat like that.
Yes, Oaks, we'll get into so much trouble, dude.
Hey, in my will, please delete said group chat. First matter, please delete.
Goodness, you're getting so much trouble, dude.
Yo, dude.
Just blur out the screen when you edit.
Yeah, no, that's and now that we've laughed on, Oaks are gonna hit pause and zoom in there, boy.
No, 100%.
Please don't do that, guys. There's nothing to see there. Nothing to see there.
I'd hate to call an end to this, but 9:15, we're hitting curfew time soon.
Enjoy. Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you all soon.
Sweet
Hopefully,
peeps.
we'll see the EFC back in action soon. Bye bye.
Cheerio.
Peace.